Howdy, 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 hi. Yes, let's get it started. Turn that music down. You already did. Nicely done, sir. Good damn morning, people. Welcome to the show. It is Tuesday, and we're, it's funny how much news happens on Tuesday, but it's primary day in New Hampshire. The Oscars nominations came out. What else are there decisions about? The Supreme Court made a decision that makes you go, and, there's all kinds of news that I'm not going to get to today, but we'll get to as much as we can, because that's what I do on the Morning Night Live. I hope you're all ready. Johnny, turn that off. Thank you. And play the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only Dawg Knight.
Oh yeah, can you feel it? Can you feel it? Let's stop the music and get this thing started. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet. Welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel on this Tuesday, the 23rd of January, 2024. I keep thinking I accidentally say 23 the last couple days, but it is. I think maybe I haven't. You would have corrected me multiple times had I done it. Happy 23rd of January 2024. And I'm here with the big cup of coffee. I got the big one today, the Big Daddy cup, and I need it because I'm tired. I had a choir practice last night. I joined a choir, a local community choir, and just does concerts a couple times a year, and I'm only going to do it in the spring because in the fall I can't do it because, over the winter I'm too busy at UPS. But it's kind of fun. We're singing kind of a very a selection of kind of pop tunes mostly, although there's a couple show tunes in it. Anyway, it's fun so far, and I'm looking forward to performing for friends and family. So anyway, we boy oh boy, there's a lot of news. In fact, I'm going to start with some news first because Gunspox dropped a couple things up on Twitter, so I'm going to go through those first. But of course, like always, I must say hello to you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live, because that's what I do here. First, the chat. Oh wait, I should probably turn this thing on. Can't do the hellos without the bells and whistles. Excuse me. I need to drink up my coffee. Give us a second here. That's wonderful. Okay. First in the chat over on Rumble, Mr. Avocado Diablo gets the bell, of course. Because he's always there. Yes. Haley did win Dixville. Okay. I will get there. She's campaigning in Vanstown as you speak. Okay, that's funny. Anyway, also good morning, Mike Savage. Blarg. Afternoon to Mike Savage. Tall person. Hoy, hey, nice to see you here live. And Phantom Dog Fart. One of the greatest names on the internet. And thank you, tall person, dropping a deuce in the tip jar over on Rumble. Says, glad to catch the live stream live for once. Happy Measure Your Feet Day. Wait a minute. What? Measure Your Feet Day. I'm going to look this up. Measure Your Feet Day. What the hell? Oh my God, it is National Measure Your Feet Day. Who thought of this? Holy criminy. Here it is. Measure Your Feet Day. National Day. Okay, what is Measure Your Feet Day? Let's look this up. Measure Your Feet Day is celebrated on January 23rd every year. Well, I'll be damned. I've been slacking. If you heard about the holiday and scrunched up your face in confusion about why we need a day for measuring your feet, then Measure Your Feet Day is most certainly for you. The feet are the most important one of the most overlooked parts of your body. Most people don't even give any special attention to their feet. Measure Your Feet Day has a deeper purpose than simply getting people to whip out measuring tapes and compare feet sizes for bragging rights. Yes, my size 14s are beautiful. Very few people know their true shoe size, and this means that most people's shoes either are too tight or too loose. This leads to pain and discomfort in the feet. So in truth, Measure Your Feet Day is really about foot health. Well, there you go. And they have a little history of Measure Your Feet Day and everything, which I am not going to read because if my wife's listening, she hates feet. So we're not going to do that. But anyway, happy Measure Your Feet Day, National Measure Your Feet Day. I'll be damned. That's crazy. That's some crazy stuff right there. On YouTube, first in the chat is, well, of course, Avocados Diablo gets the bell. Also, good morning, Sure You Gospel, Lord Stanhope, Tyre, Alexander, the Gentleman, Lich. All right, and Tyler F is in the house. Kara Soldier, Mike Savage, Blarg. Johnny Hellcat, the original viewer of the Morning Night Live, the very first guest, just over 5 years ago today. Johnny Hellcat and Hate Camel were the first two viewers of the Morning Night Live, and I always appreciate that, Johnny. And Johnny comes back every once in a while when he can, and I love to see him. Also, good morning, JB. Did I say Lord Stanhope? Yes, I did. Good morning, JB. Kara Soldier, Zed the Starkey, Simon Wolfwood, Tribute Liberty. What's up, my brother? Attack Alpaca, Tall Person. Aaron Meredith, good morning, sir. Good morning also to, am I getting close? Is that everybody? Anonymity, T2, I'll be back. Streamlabs, that might, Patio Furniture's in the house. Good morning, my friend. Text AG, below set, Evan. Grillin' Pirate Pete, what's going on in the cove there, Pete? Good morning also to, and Slim Tito 02. So, nice to see everybody here. It's a wonderful day. Let's get into the news. We're gonna do some news first because I noticed some things Gunfox had up on the board that were all kind of, there were things that I wanted to talk about today anyway, and he provided some articles on it, so it's a good thing. So some things breaking in the news as of yesterday, and this is concerning, of course. There have been new airstrikes that have targeted Houthi forces in Yemen. The United States and UK carried out a new round of airstrikes against Houthi targets in Yemen. The Pentagon announced Monday afternoon. Great. It's friggin' snowing again here in the Cove. Oh, well, that's good. I wish we were getting snow. It's cold, but there's not enough snow on the ground. We need more snow. I want to make sure my trees are healthy. So anyway, the military of the United States and the United Kingdom, at the direction of their respective governments with support from Australia, Bahrain, Canada, and the Netherlands, conducted an additional round of proportionate and necessary strikes. That's interesting. They decided to use that language. Against 8 Houthi targets in Yemen in response to the Houthis' continued attacks against international and commercial shipping, as well as naval vessels transiting, not transitioning. They're not changing their genders. Transiting the Red Sea, the Pentagon said in a joint statement. Today's strike specifically targeted a Houthi underground storage site and locations associated with the Houthis' missile and air surveillance capabilities. These precision strikes are intended to disrupt and degrade the capabilities that the Houthis use to threaten global trade and the lives of innocent mariners, and are in response to a series of illegal, dangerous, and destabilizing Houthi actions since our coalition strikes on January 11th, including anti-ship ballistic missiles and unmanned aerial system attacks that struck 2 U.S.-owned merchant vessels, according to the Pentagon. And then the UK MOD, can someone tell me what the MOD is? Said 4 RAF Typhoon FGR-4 fighters took part in the operation. So now let's see. News of the airstrikes come after CNN reported that the Pentagon is now calling the fight against the Houthis Operation Poseidon Archer. Gee, I'm glad we get it one of these cool names for it at least. Assigning an operation names to these strikes is a nod to the fact that the efforts to stop the Houthis from attacking shipping in the Red Sea, Bab al-Mandab Strait, and the Gulf of Aden will require more than attacks of opportunity or even the wider airstrikes we've already seen. So, are we... are we joining Pakistan in, because, Yemen's kind of an Iran proxy site, right? And Pakistan's having some direct conflict with Iran. And Iran so far away. Are we are we just gearing up for more war? Is this how we get more votes for Biden? Because we'll be in a conflict. There's going to be some shenanigans that have to do with the election, but and of course, look, I understand we need to protect the shipping lanes in the Middle East and whatever, but MOT at Old Punk Band. Oh, really? Ministry. Okay, wait a minute. Oh, Ministry of Defense, because someone says Ministry of Dicklessness, MOD and Old Punk Band. We're getting okay. MOD, wrong answers only. Get it in the chat. There we go. So, yeah, this is a long article. And where is this article? Who wrote this article? Is this is this Newsbreak's own article? It could be. I don't see. Oh, this is from something called The Drive, which I've never heard of, but it's quite a long article. Oh, update at 8:11 p.m. Eastern Time. The Pentagon released an image of an FA-18E FS Super Hornet from the aircraft carrier USS Dwight Eisenhower taking part in today's strike. So that's the thing taken off. And then that's the update at 6:44 p.m. So there was a couple updates. I guess this was 16 hours ago, so it has been they put this out about 3 o'clock yesterday, and then there was a 6 o'clock update, an 8 p.m. update, but they did them kind of in the wrong order. Anyway, there is footage. Oh my gosh. And then 7. Okay, they got a lot of information, a lot of updates here. One of the top comments on here, though, is if you go in the comment section of this article, the top one is pretty good. I remember when Biden and the Democrats said it would be illegal for President Trump to bomb Iran without congressional authorization. They even encouraged the military to disobey the orders of the commander-in-chief. Has Biden received authorization from Congress to attack the Houthis? Well, if you ask the squad, that answer is no. Things that make you go, So anyway. Wait, what is this?
You are so dumb. You are really dumb.
What? No, stop. That's not what I needed. I don't know. I couldn't remember what that one was for. Anyway, all right. So, moving on, also in the news today, this morning. Wait, what was this? Oh, that was Measure Your Feet Day. The Supreme Court has, while they're going to deliberate on whether or not Texas can do things to protect the border of their state, they've decided that they're going to allow Border Patrol agents to remove the razor wire that has been erected so far while they're making that decision. The court weighed in on a dispute between the Biden administration and Republican Governor Greg Abbott, who installed the wire in an effort to prevent illegal border crossings, right? Well, a closely divided Supreme Court on Monday allowed Border Patrol agents to cut through or move razor wire Texas installed on the U.S.-Mexico border as part of the state's effort to prevent illegal border crossings. The court, in a 5-4 vote, granted an emergency request filed by the Biden administration, which had argued that Texas was preventing agents from carrying out their duties. Oh, you mean their duty to stop people from coming across the border illegally? Oh, wait, I forgot. Agents are just being used as a welcoming committee right now. So I guess, we gotta make sure that we can't. You know what's funny? There's that famous bridge around Eagle Pass that's usually filled with, people that supposedly the Border Patrol is processing. And I saw a picture of that Eagle Pass area yesterday. There was nobody in it. So whatever the Texas National Guard was doing, it was working. I mean, there's a trickle coming across there in that point now. And so now the Biden administration wants an emergency order and gets granted the emergency order to allow them to remove the barriers and things that the Texas National Guard put there until they make a decision on whether or not the Texas National Guard can put it there. I'll tell you the corresponding trending topic that will match this. When I get to it, I will mention it again. So anyway, a White House spokesman on Monday said that Texas political stunts like placing razor wire near the border simply make it harder and more dangerous for frontline personnel to do their jobs. Really? It seems like it's making it easier. Ultimately, we need adequate resources and policy changes to address our broken immigration system. You know, you've been breaking it on purpose, you jagoff. What? Afghanistan, no one has told Texas they can't put it up yet, just that the Fed can take it down. So they should just keep putting it back up. True. I agree. I agree. And I think look, no one said the National Guard that are patrolling the border have to stop either. So they want to do their job. The Texas National Guard's will be right next to them going, hey, you fucker over there. Stay over there because I'm going to whoop your ass if you come over here or I'm going to put you in jail. So just stay your ass over there. But, you know, this Biden wants this to happen. That's the problem. So a couple other articles about it. Breitbart also has an article. Supreme Court allows federal agents to cut razor wire. Texas installed on U.S.-Mexico border. I don't think there's any different news because this is the AP story. So, in fact, it's the exact same story. Just written by or put in a different format. Although this one doesn't look as long. Is this one the same exact same one? No, this one's actually a bit longer. Anyway, the other key point here. Now, here's the thing. This is an interesting mix though because so Justice Roberts, Amy Coney Barrett, Ketanji Brown Jackson, Elena Kagan, Sotomayor sided with the administration. Justice Samuel Alito, Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, and Clarence Thomas voted with Texas. So the three liberal justices, and then the two of the three that are always suspect because Barrett and Roberts and Kavanaugh are always a wild card in some of these things. And for whatever reason, they think that, they should just let this happen until they make the actual decision, which could be months. I don't understand it. You would think that the compelling argument would be that the state of Texas is protecting the country and the Border Patrol is not. But you got to remember, immigration is mostly under the purview of the executive branch. So I can understand why there's a constitutional issue. Now, but not 100%. So Texas has a compelling reason to keep people out because they're being overwhelmed by illegal people who are in the country illegally. So who knows? Let's see. Oh, is that it? Okay. All right, moving on. In the Georgia election interference case, well, when you see a story in Rolling Stone saying that it is beginning to unravel, you know it's bad because you know how much Rolling Stone magazine as an editorial entity hates the guy with the funny hair. The Fulton County, Georgia election interference case against Donald Trump and 18 of his allies may be in trouble. Cobb County Superior Court Judge Henry Thompson on Monday unsealed the divorce file of Nathan Wade. You know who Nathan Wade is, don't you? Do we talk about Nathan Wade yet? That's who. Oh, I did, because I kept saying that's who Fani Willis is stupid. The lead prosecutor in the Trump case. Wade has been accused of having an improper relationship with Fani Willis. You've been getting that, Fanny. And the Fulton County District Attorney, who brought criminal charges against the former president last summer. The judge also on Monday delayed Willis's testimony in the matter until after Wade is deposed on January 31st. Mike Roman, the former Trump aide who was indicted in the Fulton County election interference probe, alleged earlier this month that Willis has had a romantic relationship with Wade, who has raked in hundreds of thousands of dollars working as a special prosecutor on Willis's case against the former president. Roman's lawyer, Ashley Merchant, filed a motion arguing that the arrangement is illegal and that both Willis and Wade should be disqualified from prosecuting the case. Now, I'm a little confused about this because as I've been reading about this part of the case, sure, this could disqualify Willis and Wade from prosecuting the case, but I'm wondering why it would stop the case altogether, because there are, other prosecutors within the DA's office that are prosecuting. But it does mess up a couple things. And also, a couple key things here. Some of the invoices that Wade has provided as part of the expenditure of the $650,000 she's received so far included travel and meetings with the White House. Now, why would Nathan Wade possibly have any reason whatsoever to have meetings with people in the White House? Oh, and also in the Justice Department, because this is a local case, right? So why would Wade, again, and by the way, Wade has zero experience in RICO or prosecuting RICO cases. He is, I think he might be like a personal injury attorney or some shit like that. But she tapped him, pun intended, to be on this case against Trump, and has been paying him money. And apparently, in his divorce case, the problem is he has been spending some of the money that he's been getting for this case on Fannie. And I just don't mean ass. Fannie Willis. So his ex-wife is in court because he's been hiding some of his, let's say, assets. God, there's just too many puns in here. Hiding some of his assets. And so now they're going to get Fannie Willis to testify in that case, not as the whatever she is in the state of Georgia, but as a individual human who is monumental to the case. Hello, TC, by the way. So this is fascinating. It's amazing. Wade, let's see. Wade has been in the process of getting a divorce, and Willis has been subpoenaed to testify in the proceedings. The divorce file may shed light on what role Willis played in the divorce, and more specifically, whether she and Wade were involved romantically while Wade was working on the high-profile case she brought against Trump. Wade's wife has called Willis her soon-to-be ex-husband's paramour, and on Friday, her attorney filed a motion that included credit card statements showing that Wade paid for airline tickets for Willis in 2022 and 23. So, while it may not completely unravel the case, it certainly unravels let's just say it addresses their participation in the case. So we'll see what happens. So that's the article from Rolling Stone. In PJ Media, again, the case, the judge unseals the records in the divorce case. I don't think there's anything new information in this particular article, but the allegation that records in this action reveal a legally improper relationship between Special Prosecutor Wade and DA Willis must be answered in a transparent manner to preserve public confidence in our judicial system, AJC attorneys Tom Clyde and Leslie Gator argued. So public interest in this matter cannot be overstated. So let's see. A group of media outlets maintain that Wade's divorce case is worth public scrutiny because of his role in the Trump case. Public records have also demonstrated that the Fulton County DA's office paid Nathan Wade's law firm considerably more than it did other special prosecutors working on the case, even though Wade has little, if any, experience prosecuting cases under the racketeering, influence, and corrupt organizations, aka RICO statute. Last week, Judge Scott McAfee, who is overseeing the Trump case, ordered a hearing involving the allegations of corruption and conflicts of interest, including involving Willis. The hearing will take place in mid-February. So that case is being postponed now. And McAfee has ordered Willis to respond in writing to the allegations. Blah, 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 blah. So, yeah. Fannie, yeah, you kind of fucked up, Fannie. You're just, it's, I'm sorry, I didn't realize I didn't have that completely on the screen. So there we go. Fannie Willis. Oh, wait, is there a Breitbart article too I have? Oh, yeah, here we go. Exclusive, Georgia Senate to, oh, no. Now the Georgia Senate is going to probe Fannie. Oh, damn. It's just too easy. Just too easy. Yeah, Fanny's about to get spanked. Georgia Senate to authorize subpoena-powered probe into alleged Fanny Willis misconduct. Let's see. So they're set to authorize a subpoena-powered investigation committee to probe the alleged corruption of Fannie Willis, the Fulton County District Attorney. Breitbart News exclusively learned Monday. The potential committee is significant because Georgia Governor Brian Kemp refused to launch a criminal investigation into Willis last week, citing the need for a currently non-operational oversight committee to open a probe. So that's what they're setting up. The proposed Georgia Senate committee could hold subpoena power as soon as later this week to secure the attendance of witnesses or the production of documents and materials related to Willis, according to a resolution put forth by Georgia State Senator Greg Dolezal from Forsyth. The committee, the only type of its kind in the state of Georgia, would comprise 9 senators, only 3 of whom would be Democrats. The Georgia legislature has a responsibility to hold public officials accountable, Georgia Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones exclusively told Breitbart. Recent reports have been deeply troubling, and I appreciate Senator Dolezal's leadership on the issue. So, now they're going to have a little committee on this. Good morning, Amazing Disgrace. How you doing? Wait a minute. Hang on. Willis is accused of misconduct and corruption during her prosecution of former President Donald Trump, a court filing by Mike Roman, a political operative and co-defendant of Trump in the Georgia election case, leveled 4 explosive allegations in January about Willis's conduct while prosecuting Trump. So these are the 4 allegations. Nathan Wade, Willis's lead prosecutor in the Trump case, had an improper relationship with Willis. 2, Wade's law firm used funds paid by the county to take Willis on luxury vacations using potential fraudulent payments. 3, Wade was appointed without the required approval by authorities who had little or no prosecutorial experience. Yeah, he's not a prosecutor. And 4, as far as criminal prosecutions, Willis and Wade met twice with President Joe Biden's White House counsel before indicting Trump in August, raising questions about whether the White House coordinated prosecuting Biden's 2024 political opponent. So it's just dirty stuff all around. I was going to say shit, but then we don't want to use that pun in this case because I'm trying to keep it clean. All right, let's next. Okay, let's talk about other stuff because those are the articles that GunFox gave me. Again, GunFox, if you were watching or I don't think I saw GunFox here this morning. No, you're not here anywhere. Well, I just want to let him know. I'll if I don't see him, if he didn't pop in later, I will notify him that I did, in fact, read his stories. Real quick, let me do a few thank yous and then we'll move on. Thank you to the people who are tweeting out the show, sharing the show. Do me a favor. The Morning Light Live is brought to you by you, the viewers of the Morning Light Live. So, a couple things you can do to help the show. Hit the like button. Now, wait, you know what's funny? I say that every week or every day, just about. And I don't know if it helps at all because YouTube doesn't push any of my videos to new people anyway. They absolutely do not. At least not my live streams. Now, like the shorts, they have a little bit different type of algorithm, so those are actually going out. But when I do videos or streams, YouTube does not share them with anybody that's not already subscribed to me. So that's why it's very important and helpful for you to share my streams to other people who might be interested, because YouTube will not. I got in that little loop in around 2016 when I first started doing this YouTube thing where I got the ire of YouTube on me and never have, when I first few weeks when I was making videos, my videos went out, and if people saw them, they had interest. Anytime there was likes or people commenting, they would send them out to more people. That doesn't happen anymore. So the fact that you guys share the stream helps a lot. And also, obviously when I bring guests on it, I get new audience that way, but don't always have time to do that. So, oh no, I missed this one, GunFox. He gave me one other one. Maybe I'll share that with tomorrow. Oh, this is about euthanasia in Canada. And I don't mean kids who are in, Well, there's no Asian in Canada. Maybe it's not about kids crossing the Bering Strait. Let's put it that way. But we'll get to that one another day. All right. Let's get into the hot topics of the day. New Hampshire primaries today. Lots of people talking about that. Donald Trump versus Nikki Haley. Versus maybe, as you saw from the thumbnail, maybe Joe Biden too. I mean, apparently there's a write-in campaign to make Joe Biden the Republican nominee for New Hampshire. So let me just, what is this? How much New Hampshire Well, here's Liberty Nation with a question. How much will the New Hampshire primary matter? It's very unlikely that Nikki Haley's going to make up ground here, but the ultimate fate of no less than 10 presidential candidates could hinge on the judgment of the Granite Stone voters. What? No. There's more stake than meets the eye in today's first in the nation presidential primary in New Hampshire. The campaigns of the frontrunner and lone remaining challenger on the Republican side have been well chronicled. Meanwhile, on the Democratic side, write-in oh, that's right. Joe Biden's not on the ballot in New Hampshire. I think they made a filing error or whatever, and he's not on the ballot. So he is a write-in candidate in New Hampshire. Meanwhile, on the Democratic side, write-in candidate Joe Biden, after ditching the state in favor of South Carolina, is holding his breath, hoping to at least secure a majority against two relative unknowns. But those other two Democrats and no less than 5 independent candidates also stand to gain or lose traction depending on what happens in the Granite State. At the same time, we should take a step back and examine the macro. Okay, I don't need to do that, but Robert Kennedy Jr. is on the ballot there, and Joe Biden has to be a write-in. So they have people saying write-in Joe Biden because he's not on the ballot. My God, oh my God. It's freaking amateur hour. By the way, good morning, Green Badger Outdoors over on Rumble. Nice to see you, my brother. Oh my God, it's amateur hour. I know that CNC will not recognize the New Hampshire primary. South Carolina is the first one for them now. Oh, probably. Hey, Zach Osborne's in the house. Nice to see you. So, but anyway, lots of people talking about the New Hampshire primary. Let's just see if there's a few. Now this is funny. This is funny. Still not with her, in which they have a Nikki Haley face in Hillary Clinton hair. That's funny. Oh, by the way, the first city to vote in the New Hampshire primary, in New Hampshire, they have this thing where they go to Dixon Gulch. Apparently, they do there's only like 6 or 7 people who live there, and they do their voting first. That's their big thing, that they go and vote like a second after midnight. And apparently all 6 votes, that's funny too. Nikki Haley in her shadow as a rhino. That's cute. All 6 votes at Dixon Gulch went to Nikki Haley. She's winning 100% of the state as we speak, with 6 votes in. Not 6% of the votes, 6 votes. So for whatever reason, Dixon Gulch has gone with Nikki Haley. But the last poll, I guess, before Ron DeSantis dropped out, Trump was at 52%, Nikki Haley was at 38%, DeSantis at 6%. So it's likely to be a resounding Trump win. But if it's gonna be interesting if Nikki Haley holds at 38%. Do you think she takes a chance and stays in for South Carolina, the state she grew up in, her home state, the state where she was governor, and the state where she's getting beat worse there than in New Hampshire? I guess so. Oh my God, Aaron, there you go. Oh my God. Hold up. Let me just take this off the screen. I must read Aaron Meredith's your chat here. Excuse me. She took all 6 dicks at once. Damn. Stop it. Oh, stop that shit. Anyway, so in this topic, let's see. Someone here, timeline in my timeline this morning. Haley's campaign must be run by a Democrat because it's all phony optics and social media gaslighting. I voted for Trump in the past. Now I'm voting for Nikki Haley. Well, yippee friggin' skippy. Let's see. Oh, let's see. Voter roast Nikki Haley. Let's see what this is. This seems to be a quick short. Let's see. I hope there's no music in it. We'll see. Let's see. Voter roasts Nikki Haley. What's this about? Well,
responsible for politicians to spend like $100 million in Iowa on TV ads, which go to mainly news stations that have lied to us for years. When there's homeless veterans out there that could use that money.
Okay, I don't want the music. There's homeless veterans out there that could use that money when you didn't even come close to beating Trump, and you spent like $100 million in TV ad money. Oh, that's the same thing. Oh, that's fine. I'm asking you, do you know what the media doesn't tell the truth? You put commercials on that tell us. Okay. I didn't get all that. New Hampshire voters, though, are lined up to see Nikki Haley at the Franklin VFW less than 24 hours until the polls are open. Wow, that's from yesterday. How can you watch this and not vote for Marianne Williamson today? Oh, political TikTok asking the people to vote for. Oh, Marianne Williams is on the ballot in New Hampshire, though, but Donald Trump isn't. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? So anyway, Trump ends his Manchester, New Hampshire rally with an inspirational speech. Let's see Trump's inspirational speech in New Hampshire, and then we'll see if we can find something. Nikki Haley's closing argument here. Here's Trump in New Hampshire.
From Concord to Conway, from Plymouth to Portsmouth, and from Meredith to Manchester, you inherit the legacy of red-blooded New Hampshire patriots who live by that immortal motto, live free or die. Have you heard of that before?
Yeah, New Hampshire's an interesting
We stand on the
state.
shoulders of American heroes who crossed the ocean, settled a continent, tamed the wilderness, laid down the railroads, raised up the greatest skyscrapers in the world, won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism, and made America the single greatest nation in the history of the world.
Okay. All right, so that's his closing argument there. Let's see if there's anything for Nikki Haley here. Here's Nikki Haley.
But you know what? We've got a lot on the line here.
Hang on. We got a lot on the line
But you know what?
here.
We've got a lot on the line here. We really do. And you look at what's happening in this election.
What's
Yes.
happening, Nikki?
Are you going to vote for me?
Oh, she might. She's thinking about it. I'm not going to talk about her affair. It doesn't matter. She's thinking about it, though.
Get out of here. But you know what?
Okay, I don't know what that was about. that was not a good clip to choose. Anyway, so yeah, New Hampshire primary. We'll be hearing about that the whole frickin' day. Moving on. Let's see. I did that. Oh, I have 2 of those open. Why do I have 2 of those open? No, don't need 2 of those open. Let's try this. The Oscars are trending. Apparently the Oscar nominations came out last night, and I don't really give a shit. But the butthurt people who pay attention to this stuff certainly do. People, wow. So what the biggest thing that people are butthurt about is the movie Barbie didn't get enough nominations. Margot Robbie did not get an Oscar nomination for it, but Ryan Gosling did for the whatever character. Yes, he did shout it, "Will you marry me?" And then people are just bitching and moaning and happy and sad about who did and who didn't get nominations. Apparently Oppenheimer, which is also trending, got 13 nominations. That's a movie I still want to go see. But Oppenheimer's the second film more nominated behind only Titanic, the movie of the year, and you'll have to accept that, whatever. But yeah, they got 13 nominations for Oppenheimer, which I really do want to go see it. I heard it's pretty good. And then apparently there's a movie, Naiad, that got some nominations, and who was it? What's her name? What the hell's her name? Annette Bening, and got a nomination for Naiad. Now, nobody's ever heard of Naiad, and see, this woman's very upset. Nobody watched Naiad. Nobody watched Anatomy of the Fall. Carey Mulligan's white ass plays a Latina in Maestro, and everyone's suddenly okay with it. F the Academy and trust Margot Robbie will be avenged. So people are mad that Margot Robbie didn't get a nomination for Best Actress in Barbie. The Good, Anatomy of the Fall, and director, PGA 10 actually happening, Godzilla -1 in visual effects. The Bad, Naiad taking up space in those acting categories. No Spider-Verse, Boy and the Heron, and score. No Dominic Sessa, Charles Melton. Does anyone know what the hell any of these things are? Because I don't, so I don't care. And then also, oh, we're going to move on, though. Also trending is The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. Dwayne Johnson, big news. And as far, Anna, 1, 2, 3, how you doing? Welcome. The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, had big news recently. Apparently, he gets the rights to his nickname. Now, usually, there's a battle between the WWE and its superstars on the nicknames they get, but apparently he has the rights to his own nickname, and he also has ownership in RKO. Is it RK? I think that TKO, which owns the WWE. So it's a name that becomes almost synonymous with professional wrestling, but its bearer, Dwayne Johnson, has never legally owned, quote, The Rock. That will change under a new agreement with the WWE, in which Johnson will also join the board of TKO Group, the sports and entertainment company that houses WWE and UFC. So he's had part of, basically, going to be on the board of WWE and UFC. The Rock is a name derived from Johnson's father, WWE Hall of Famer Rocky Johnson, who was the first black champion in WWE history, along with partner Tony Atlas, according to the World Wrestling Entertainment. Johnson, a movie and wrestling star, has a business portfolio that includes production company, $7 Production, tequila brand Terramana Tequila, energy drink company Zoa Energy, Project Rock apparel brand, blah, 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 blah. So now he owns the name The Rock. Good for Dwayne Johnson. That's a good business decision. So, and I don't know why there's other stuff about The Rock that's trending, but I'm going to move on. Also trending, Naperville. In Naperville, Illinois, the City Council of Naperville has a suggestion for a solution to our incoming neighbors from around the world who are crossing our southern borders and finding themselves ending up in the state of Illinois. Naperville City Councilman Josh McBroom wants a sign-up list for residents to host illegal immigrants in their home. And there is Mr. what's his name, Josh McBroom, touting his plan or request from the people of Naperville, Illinois.
I do know that there's a lot of people that do care. And I think we live in a compassionate community. So, before we go down the road of, doing what, following suit on some of these other cities are taking action on.
Yes. And
my idea would be let's find out. Let's find out who's willing to help. So
who's willing to
we
host?
do hear from constituents on both sides of this. What are we going to do to preemptively stop this? And then we hear from people that tell us we should do more. So, we do have a very affluent community.
Oh, yes.
A lot of big homes. And what I'd like to do is direct staff to create a sign-up sheet. So, for individuals that
sign
would be
me up,
willing
baby.
to house migrant families.
Hell no.
And if there's people that would do that, God bless them. So if we could raise awareness in that way,
yes.
I think we need to find out. I think we need to find out who would be willing to house migrant families. And,
Families. Wait. There's the caveat. Who would be willing to host migrant families? Well, I hate to break this to you, Josh. Is that his name, Josh? No, yeah, Josh. I hate to break this to you, Josh. But migrant families are not crossing together. See, all these migrant so-called families and these asylum seekers. The problem is it's 96% male and mostly military-aged males crossing the border. Now, there's occasional trafficked child or teen or women coming across, and then occasionally maybe one or two families, but those are few and far between there, Josh. And I don't think that, I personally, if I lived in Naperville, Illinois, and someone asked me if I wanted to sign up to host migrants in my home, I think the first thing that would come out of my mouth was go fuck yourself. So it would be go fuck yourself. So, but I'm sure some of these people who are just, oh man, they're gung-ho for Chicago being a sanctuary city, and we have to help these poor asylum seekers, the people who've been coached to say asylum no matter what their status is. In fact, maybe they could host the asylum seekers that are from the Middle East or China or Senegal or wherever the hell else they're coming, India, the ones who are just a bunch of men that are coming from all over the world, doing the travel agency that takes them to Mexico so they can cross our border. One-way tickets. Yeah. Let's just host as many as we can. Knock yourself out real quick. Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. And Johnny Hellcat being the first sponsor today makes you
are
the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you, Johnny Hellcat, who says, we need a list who will host these families. Are you going to sign the list? LOL. Shit, no. I'm not signing shit. Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. That was Johnny. I was speaking in the voice of Johnny Hellcat. All right, so that's why Naperville, and lots of people talking about Naperville, loving the response to Julie's comment. People who have zero clue who she is or understand the Naperville councilwoman's comment. Now, and you know what? Josh, I don't think is being serious here, though. So, okay, I think Josh might be the lone, maybe the lone conservative on the Naperville City Council. And, because Julie Kelly is touting this. And so Naperville is a very wealthy liberal suburb in the outskirts of Chicago. Biden won there by a 20% margin in 2020. So there should be lots of people in Naperville set to say, what's that? Oh, here's it is right here. Now read this sign. Read this sign right here. See the sign here? It says, see this, this in this house, we believe Black lives matter. Women's rights are human rights. No human is illegal. Oh! Science is real. Love is love. Kindness is everything. Migrants sent to sanctuary cities. Oh, no trespassing. Oh! So there you go. That's why Naperville, Illinois is trending. That's funny. I think he was trolling all the liberals saying, oh my gosh, this is so bad. And then they want to send them all back to Texas. So there you go. All right, next, 5 billion is trending. It's kind of random, this 5 billion thing that's trending, and it's not trending for one particular reason. But there are a couple good videos that I noticed in here. Now, this one's from Patrick Bet David. I don't remember what it's called on YouTube. He does this podcast, really good podcaster. But he's under this 5 billion trending, 18 million or 1.5 billion, which is not 5 billion, but he had this to say.
Kavidi, how much is this property?
Between 18 million to $1.5 billion, depending who you're asking. If you ask a judge in New York, 18 million. If you ask everybody in real estate in the area, they're going to say $1.5 billion.
Okay, that's the value of he's at Mar-a-Lago, and that judge in New York said it's only worth 18 million, which you can't buy a piece of land in that part of the area for 18 million. But hey, it is what it is. Let's see. CM Punk came to the WWE, and then they got a $5 billion deal. Oh yeah, the WWE now has a $5 billion deal with Netflix. That was the other thing that was kind of related to The Rock, where they have a new contract, and apparently they have a $5 billion deal with Netflix to, I don't know, show WWE entertainment. Very interesting. Also, let's see. Now here, let's see. Vernon. Oh, that's from the 18th. Vernon Jones. Do you think the Clinton Foundation should be investigated for stealing $2.5 billion in donations that was supposed to be used to rebuild Haiti? Put a yes or no in the chat. Hello, number one. Welcome. Woke wankers only want to virtue signal and put the strain on the poor so they can stand back and virtue signal more. Yes, that is true. Perfect. Keaton, nice to see you. Amazing disgrace, unacceptable views. I probably should have said hi to you earlier, but now I have. Let's see. Oh, and this is from okay, this is crazy too. And Jesse Waters brought this up because at the World Economic Forum, apparently the elites believe that maybe we should stop producing rice in the world. Rice, staple food for 3.5 billion people. They want us to stop producing rice because it uses a lot of water and shit. Oh wait, sound like it more like he was doing it as a dare to call the bluff of people who talk a good game and to show they are hypocrites. That's exactly what he was doing. Josh what's his name? Okay, so listen to this.
In most of Asia, rice is still grown with traditional methods, which requires flooding the fields. And when you flood the fields, you basically kill the weeds with water, which sounds good, except it takes huge amounts of water. They basically decompose underwater, and when they do that, they release methane. And actually rice production is one of the largest producers of methane, which is, many times more toxic in terms of greenhouse gas emissions.
Rice is like the top crop in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically, their solution at Davos is to starve all the Asians. That's what they hate Asians at Davos. Let's see. And then let's see, Alex Barron. Oh, this is on Tucker. Alex Barron said literally billions of mRNA vaccine doses were paid for and never used. About 5 billion doses were made by Pfizer and Moderna. About 3 billion were used. And all those other doses were paid for. That's 2 billion doses, probably $40 billion just literally poured down the drain. I got to watch that interview. I'm going to have to go watch that show. Here, I'm going to put this as a separate link just so if you want to actually listen to it. I'm not going to play it right now. But so anyway, this 5 billion thing has, again, the $5 billion deal with Netflix, a 10-year, WWE, 10 years, $5 billion. So Netflix must be is obviously betting big on the WWE to continue to be popular. That's interesting. They have their crystal balls out. All right, moving on. Not related to Fannie Willis, though. Anyway, Adam Schiff is trending. The pencil neck one from California, who is running for the United States Senate. And I think he might be part of the reason he's trending, maybe of this exchange between him and Steve Garvey, the former Los Angeles Dodger, now Republican candidate for the Senate in the state of California. And so here's this little bit of an exchange.
Americans, including Californians who are visiting other states.
Thank you, Congressman.
And that decision would be dangerous.
Mr. Garvey, your rebuttal.
I think you've been censored for lying.
I was censured for standing up to a corrupt president.
This is exactly what I'm talking
about.
He doesn't want anyone to hear that. He was censured for lying.
It's Mr. Garvey's turn. Let him go.
Or trying to determine who we are by race or by color or by gender. They never listen. They have prearranged words to say. And by the way, I would not vote for a federal ban on abortion. Let's make that clear right now.
Thank you, Mr. Garvey.
All right, we're gonna
I'm going to insist on answering. I was just called a liar by Mr. Garvey.
Okay. No, he said you got censured for lying, which is a fact.
30
Mr.
seconds.
Garvey, I was censured for standing up to a corrupt president.
And for lying.
You know something? I would do it all over again.
You would lie again.
Because
good to know.
That president who's been indicted with 91 felony counts, that president that you won't refuse to support, yeah, he's a danger. And I will stand up to him and Kevin McCarthy and Jim Jordan and any of those MAGA enablers of his in the
Hello,
Congress.
Jaeger Pony, my favorite Canadians in the house.
Is because folks don't have the courage to stand up when they need to.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sir,
we're gonna keep moving.
Let me just heap that both my name.
All right. Real quick.
Sir, you lied to 300 million people.
Ding!
You can't take that back.
So there you go. That's one of the reasons he's trending. Also, don't think of... oh, look at Adam's face as Steve Garvey takes him and his Russian collusion lies apart. And someone said they can't believe... They're surprised that his eyes could bug out that far. I'm not. Let me see. Is this the same clip, I bet?
Americans, including Californians who are visiting other states.
Thank you, Congressman.
And that decision would be dangerous.
Mr. Garvey, your rebuttal.
Okay, it's the same clip. So anyway, but it's in the Twitchy link. I'll leave the Twitchy link open. Moving on. Treason also trending. And the reason I would say treason is trending is because of that Supreme Court decision. But of course, they're the court, so they can do whatever the fuck they want and with very little whatever. But and Cat Dirt here, arrest them for treason, breaking house. This is the other thing that happened that people were talking about yesterday or late yesterday. So apparently, the House January 6th committee deleted more than 100 encrypted files just days before the GOP took majority, according to Fox News. Now, is this the article? No, this is just a picture. Which they found out. They basically were covering up what things that they were investigating. Now, why would that be? Why would they have deleted 100 encrypted files just before the GOP took majority? Because the GOP was talking about maybe reopening some of that and looking at it a little closer. So, but all kinds of reasons this is trending. People saying that, let's see, these pieces of lying shit and human skin sacks are the reason for the U.S. border invasion, for foreign fighters and illegal alien border jumping criminals flooding our nation and fleecing taxpayer dollars instead of helping Americans first. Okay, he's got an opinion. Alex Jones delivers proof that we are in a constitutional crisis and Biden's federal government is committing treason. This will end up in a civil war. The problem is every key position has been filled with traitors who will stand up and be counted. Clay Higgins says, Alejandro Mayorkas, your time is done. You will be impeached, which they seem to have the votes, at least for the impeachment part. They certainly don't necessarily have the vote for the actual removing him from office, though, in this, because that goes through the Senate, and I doubt if any Democrats will vote for him there. All right, let's move on. Also trending. Oh, this isn't trending. I just saw this and I wanted to play the video. I want to see what this video of Rachel Maddow is, because she's a little butthurt about Trump because she has probably the worst case of TDS in the country. I mean, and she's still a little mad that the Russian collusion stuff didn't work out for her. So what's Rachel Maddow got to say? Let's just listen to Rachel. I want to hear. I want to hear. And this is because Brian Stelter decided that he wanted to put this up on the internet of her talking about some crap here. So let's see what Rachel Maddow says.
I think that there's a very simple reason that Trump is making that the closing argument in what may be the last contested primary. And it's because that's really what he's offering.
What?
I mean, this is the special sauce. Donald Trump is not leading the Republican Party and leading the Republican field of candidates because of his youthful vigor or because of his policy preferences or because of his...
Really? You don't think the border policy of Donald Trump may be a factor in why he's gaining traction in places like the South Bronx and Chicago? The black people in the South Bronx, Chicago. You know, I saw a video the other day where they went, there's some reporters going through the South Bronx just asking people what they think of Donald Trump. And they said they want him to have a rally in the South Bronx. Now, I don't know. That seems because something that has to do with policy. Do you think the people who are spending an average of what is it? They said an average of $1,500 or more on just their regular staples that they buy to survive. You think people who have those pocketbook issues aren't thinking Donald Trump might have a better policy than Joe Biden? You don't think the people who are paying twice as much for fuel as they did under Donald Trump think that maybe they want to vote for him for a policy reason. Now, granted, and then also, do you think that the average American, just the average, lunch pail American in Peoria, Illinois, or I don't know, Stillwater, Oklahoma, or Colorado Springs, just normal, everyday person in the country. Do you think that they think that the whole thing that the federal government's fighting laws that tell teachers they can have something about transitioning your kid in school, social transitions, whatever? You think that just a regular everyday person thinks, oh yeah, that's a great idea. That's what Democrats are selling you. So the idea that people aren't voting for Trump for policy reasons, even though, again, my opinion of Trump. Trump's a jackass. I've said it over and over again for 4, 5, 6 years now. He's a jackass. And I am supporting him. Okay? After all my trepidation in 2016, after happily giving my vote in 2020, I will again happily give him my vote in 2024 should he be the nominee, which looks like inevitable. Because, again, you need a jackass to deal with all these other jackasses in the world and someone who just don't give a fuck. And that's where Trump's appeal is. And the idea that he's a Putin puppet is a joke. Remember when those, what was they called? The Wagner Group guys? There's like 300 of them wreaking havoc in the Middle East. And they happened to be, I think it was when they did those Syria airstrikes and they killed all these Russians. And what did Putin do? He didn't do shit. It's not that Trump is Putin's puppet. It's that Trump has Putin and Kim Jong-un and all these people that they say, oh, he's buddying up to dictators. He doesn't buddy up dictators. He keeps his enemy close to let him know, don't fuck with us. That's what I think it is. And so Rachel Maddow saying that people aren't voting for Trump or they don't care about policy positions are full of shit. You're a moron. Even you and your PhD, you prove that someone with a PhD isn't any smarter than the guy who works on your car. Because you're not. The guy who works on your car probably has a higher IQ.
Eloquence, right? There's none of that is going on. What he's offering is what he
what is it?
Sort of inherently offers, and now more and more explicitly offers.
What?
Which is, if you pick me, that'll be the end of politics.
Oh, no. He's not offering that.
Deal with
he's not
contested.
Oh my gosh, he's going to be a dictator. He's going to be Hitler. Is that what you're saying, Rachel? Yeah, no. I got a feeling he'll follow the Constitution when it comes to that. But just the fact that you guys, I won't say you cheated, but boy, oh boy, you sure did everything you could as a media to put your thumbs on the scales. And he's like, fuck that. We ain't playing that this time. And the people who've been hurt by 4 years of, well, three whatever years of Biden aren't playing that anymore. And people are waking up and going, wow. You know how many times where Trump has said something over the last, 5 or 6 years, and everyone's like, oh, that's dumb, he's bullshit, he's stupid, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then it turns out to be right, and they got to go, okay, Trump was right. I was one of those people. I certainly was, because I went along with the bullshit sometimes from his fellow Republicans, and then it turned out to be right, and I'm like, damn, he's got a pretty good track record of being right. Even though he says some stupid shit, even though sometimes he throws out some blatant lies like every other politician, no worse than Joe Biden, whose lies probably is much more, but CNN's not keeping a tally. What else?
Elections, you won't have to deal with contests or
Really?
divisions when it comes to power. You'll have a strongman leader, and I'll just do what I want. And won't that be a lot simpler? That's what he's offering. That strongman.
But you
model
want
is
that.
what the Republicans.
It's funny, they always complain about this, but this is exactly what they want from the Democrats. They want a strong leader, Democrat, and everyone doing Democratic policies. We want a one party government, which we kind of have anyway, even though there are two parties. Oh my God.
Base is enthused about, and that is something that sets him apart from every other Republican candidate. And I think that we're naive.
Gigi, SOB, when I say blatant lies, okay, here, to answer your question, for example, the other day when he was, okay, let me say, when I say blatant lies, I mean he says something that completely contradicts that he said in the past. For example, when he was campaigning about Nikki Haley, he made her the ambassador to the UN, and now he's trashing her as ambassador to the UN. Now, maybe is it a lie? It's a contradiction, okay? And I don't want Nikki Haley to be the nominee, trust me, because she has so many other problems. But there are certain things that he says and you go, okay, I know you said exactly the opposite before, but it's nothing necessarily material. It has nothing to do with the policies that he actually pushes through. Okay, so I'm not saying that I would not vote for him because of that. Okay, so I hope that answers your question in some small way.
Naive to think that he's tricking people into picking him and then surprise, he's going to act like a dictator. What he's offering is strongman leadership, the end of politics, the end of elections.
Yeah, no, he's not offering the end of elections, and nor will he. And in fact, that would be virtually impossible for him to do. Got it?
The end or the sidelining or domesticating, as Ruth Ben-Ghiat says, of the judiciary and the Congress.
You mean the judiciary that is a partisan, just a weird partisan mix of BS that needs to be fixed, although you can't because most of these people are lifetime appointments, but that's why we have hopefully a continued conservative Supreme Court right now.
Get it done, and that's what he's selling, and that's what they are very eager to buy. I think
yes, yes. All of us who are supporting Trump want to have a dictator forever. That's exactly it, Rachel. You're brilliant. You are freaking brilliant, or not. Anyway, all right. Let me see. Now I got a few other things that I'm gonna get through here before we go. Oh, don't hit the outro. That would be a mistake. Let's get there. There's my face again. Let's see. I've had a couple things. Oh, Texas is trending, and that's of course regarding the border wall stuff. And in fact, one of the things that Texas has done when he saw the Supreme Court decision and again, the Supreme Court decision is not the final decision, but what he said is this is not over. Texas razor wire is an effective deterrent to the illegal crossing that Biden encourages. I will continue to defend Texas's constitutional authority to secure the border and prevent the Biden administration from destroying our property. So, and again, he's referring to the NBC News article that I read earlier. Someone here says Abbott should release the full force of Texas on the border response. The United States shall guarantee that to every state in the union a Republican form of government and shall protect each of them against invasion and on the application of the legislature or the executive when the legislature cannot be convened against domestic violence. Okay, so they certainly want to do it on constitutional grounds since the United States government is failing in their obligation to secure the border. Texas is looking at Article 4, Section 4, that particular clause right there. So we'll see how that goes through the Supreme Court. By the way, good morning to, I just saw someone who wasn't here. Oh, Cannibalistic Wizard's in the house. Hey, good to see you over on Rumble. Let's see. Tucker Carlson. So it's unanimous. Everyone in power, from the White House to the hedge fund managers to the Supreme Court of the United States, has decided to destroy the country by allowing it to be invaded. That leaves the population to defend itself. Where are the men of Texas? Why aren't they protecting their state and the nation. Well, they're trying. And Anomaly, the hip hop gentleman who I follow on Twitter, says, Trump picked Amy Coney Barrett. She was pro-lockdown before he picked her. Her and Kavanaugh ruled in favor of vaccine mandates. No one said anything. Hard to get anything done when your own party hires the swamp and they get softball interviews from their worshipers. Oh, snap. Snap. So that's a little snapback on Trump. So anyway, that's why Texas is trending, and Tucker's point well taken there. And the only other thing was, I had the article about in Canada, child euthanasia without parent approval is being pushed. Oh, I didn't even see the headline. I just saw something about euthanasia. I thought they meant, children crossing the Bering Strait when it's in the winter. This is someone named Wesley Smith, fellow Canadians, or I shouldn't say fellow Canadians, friendly Canadians, those who watch this show, you should perk your ears up. This is from October. Why did he put this up here from October? We'll come back to that, but I'll leave the article in the links. Okay. And then here, Tucker calls for the men of Texas to defend the border. So we've already read that tweet or post, aka a tweet on the app formerly known as Twitter. And we talked about yesterday. This is the headline from yesterday. Mom whose daughter was allegedly killed by MS-13 sues Biden administration for $100 million. We went through that a little bit yesterday. Unfortunately, I don't think that case is going to go anywhere. Suing the Biden administration for that. Would that open a door, though? Wouldn't that open a door? Hello, select a boy. Yeah, boy. Okay. Oh, there's another border crisis, too, though. Apparently, there's a lot of dogs being abandoned along the southern border. So if you're a dog person, as I am, the story will outrage you. Thousands of innocent dogs are being abandoned by people illegally crossing the southern border. Some of these dogs then end up breeding, so the problem keeps getting worse. Here it is. Dogs abandoned. There's a crazy thing happening here along the southern border. Migrants attempting to enter the United States with their dogs are forced to leave them behind, and it's creating a whole nother crisis. Fox News reporter Matt Finn is on the ground in Eagle Pass, Texas, and joined us Thursday at TMZ Live to reveal what he's seeing firsthand and how he and other TV crews are getting involved and taking some of the dogs in themselves. Matt says tons of migrants are trying to cross the border with their dogs, only to be told they can't bring the pups with them to federal processing centers, resulting in strays roaming the border. The circumstance leaves dogs in need of food and water and shelter. And Matt says troops with the National Guard are taking care of some of the doggos, and he and his producer have helped out too. I would have never even thought of that. Animal welfare groups are calling on the Biden administration to address. Okay, wait a minute. So they're bringing the dogs across with them, but then they can't take them with them when they're processing them. So they're leaving them on the Texas side of the border, and now the dogs are basically becoming strays and breeding whatnot over there. Now here's another thing that the Biden administration is going to end up paying for. Because, listen to this, animal welfare groups are calling the Biden administration to address a large number of abandoned pets on the southern border. The Fox News Digital obtained photos and videos of the pets in Colony Ridge, Texas, from animal advocacy groups, boots on the ground, that were reportedly abandoned by migrants, including some that appear severely neglected or injured. Scores of animals have been abandoned at the U.S.-Mexican border as illegal immigrants flood into the country in record-breaking numbers. Immigrants who are apprehended by Customs and Border Protection are often forced to leave their animals behind because animals are not allowed inside federal processing centers. Chase Scott, spokesman for the Big Dog Ranch Rescue, a dog rescue group, told Fox News Digital the number of abandoned dogs along the border is in the thousands. And the Biden administration is doing virtually nothing to address this situation. Well, they're not doing anything to address the fact that people are just coming over here. So, they're not taking care of the dogs. But guess what? Some taxpayer money will take care of that, won't it? Let's get a little more taxpayer money to take care of the dogs, too. Train those dogs to guard the border. Yes, that would be perfect. Good morning, those ain't real, dude. Nice to have you drop it in. PJ Media. Did you see this? So there's this, maybe they have the video. Yeah, listen to this. This is a guy who illegally crossed into the United States, and then he threatened the guy who was there interviewing illegal migrants. Listen to this.
By the way, if you are smart enough, you will know who I am. But you are really not smart enough to know who I am. But soon you're gonna know who I am. Very easy.
Wow, very easy. I'm gonna replay that because I didn't have it on the screen. But he's out here talking to people, and here it is. Listen to this carefully.
By the way, if you are smart enough, you will know who I am.
If you were smart enough, you would know who I am. Interesting, in kind of a Middle Eastern accent.
But you are really not smart enough to know who I am.
But you're really not smart enough to know who I am.
You're gonna know who I am.
But soon you are going to know who I am. Wow, that's an interesting little threat there, isn't it?
Wow, very easy. The entitlement.
No, believe me, I'm much better than that.
The entitlement, guys. Wow.
I'm much bigger than that. You will see soon. So the tourism industry, bringing migrants from all over the world through Mexico to cross our border for whatever interesting little reason they might be coming. Hopefully it was a tasteless joke and obnoxious one-off. After all, any real terrorist would want to keep their identity and their motive secret until the time arrived to launch an attack. In general, it is a good idea to believe people when they tell you who they are. Not all terrorists are members of cells. So yeah, fascinating. So how soon will you find yourself being a victim of this asshole? In the Washington Free Beacon, this is a case of I don't remember. Jamal Bowman said he was starstruck by an anti-Israel author who praised Hamas, and now he claims he barely knew the guy. I barely knew the guy. New York Democratic Congressman Jamal Bowman said he was starstruck by an anti-Israel author who praised Hamas's October 7th slaughtering of innocent Israelis. Now Bowman is claiming he was unaware of the author's comments during a January 14th panel discussion titled Palestine, October 7th and after. Bowman gushingly introduced anti-Israel author Norman Finkelstein, who celebrated Hamas's massacre as a heroic resistance that warmed every fiber of his soul. I'm a bit starstruck because I watch them all the time on YouTube, Bowman said of Finkelstein and two other anti-Israeli panelists. You are giving me the knowledge on YouTube even before coming here. Well, apparently, a week later, Bowman is singing a different tune after a Jewish Insider report exposed Bowman's praise of Finkelstein, prompting criticism. The left-wing lawmaker took to X, formerly known as Twitter, to downplay his affinity for the author. Quote, I had seen a few interviews, but I was unaware of Norman Finkelstein's completely reprehensible comments before this event. So, Congressman lying about some shit. There you go. Fire Marshal Bowman. Yes, Fire Marshal Bowman. Yeah, that's him. Judge postpones defamation trial into New Hampshire primary day. This is a story that's kind of, I think, being blown out of proportion because of one simple fact, which I'll get to. But the U.S. District Court Judge Lewis Kaplan, presiding over E. Jean Carroll's defamation trial against former President Trump, postponed the trial on Monday, citing a jury's coronavirus illness until Tuesday, the day of the New Hampshire Republican primary. The rescheduled trial on the day of the New Hampshire primary raises concerns the judge is interfering in the 2024 election. Okay. And the House Conference Chair Elise Stefanik said this is blatant election interference. Joe Biden and his Democrat cronies are the true threats to democracy. There's only one problem with this. The plaintiff in the case, the plaintiff's attorneys did not want this delay. The Trump team did. So this whole story, I put it out here because a lot of people are talking about it, but the Trump attorneys did not want the postponement. And I don't think it'll affect anyone voting in the New Hampshire primary either. So it's not really election interference. It's not like Trump has to go there to, you don't have to be, let's put it this way. You don't need to be present to win. So it doesn't matter that much. Let's see. That's A's. I'll get rid of A's. Legal insurrection. The January 6th committee is facing investigation for allegedly deleting over 100 encrypted files. Talked about that a little earlier, but there's an entire story on it in Legal Insurrection. You can read that here. In Daily Wire, the FBI said there were pipe bombs on January 6th. Remember those? And apparently the evidence points to a cover-up, according to Congressman Thomas Massey. Democrats have strained to make the case that January 6th was a violent insurrection, even resorting to false claims that such as police officers were murdered to make their case. Yes, no police officers were murdered, Johnny. But they have gone out of their way to avoid one incident that would seemingly make their point. 2 purported pipe bombs outside the Democratic National Committee and the Republican National Committee. Well, we looked at this the other day, didn't we? How they were so nonchalant when they found out there was a pipe bomb here. Now a Republican lawmaker who poured over thousands of hours of video footage and other evidence from January 6th alleges that the pipe bombs may have been planted with the involvement of law enforcement. Oh, gosh, shoot. What a surprise. I can't believe it. What was I going to use for that? Here.
Gotcha, bitch.
So, and Massey says there's an ongoing cover-up. There's, let's see, Revolver News has an entire tweet thread on this, and they have an article on it. What's that guy's name? Beatty. Jason Beatty. Look for him. Beattie. Has an entire. He's also looked at the footage, and it just seems so strange that they really just weren't all that concerned about those bombs, even after they figured it out. So I'm guessing that Thomas Massey saw that report, and then now he's actually bringing it up in Congress. So we'll see what happens with that, at least on the Republican side. In the Daily Caller, apparently the CIA sent dozens of conflict of interest referrals to Biden administration's ethics office, according to records. Now, I'm not sure what this is a reference to. Let's see. Between January 2021 and May 2023, the CIA filled out 32 Form 202 conflict of interest referral notifications to the Biden administration's Office of Government Ethics. According to records obtained by the Daily Caller, agencies were supposed to submit the Form 202s to the OGE to report alleged ethics violations referred to the DOJ. Okay, I'm going to just skip this because I haven't read it yet, and I don't know what it's about. So I can't tell you. You can read it yourself; it'll be in the links, but I'm not sure. So, DOJ. This is a good one though. This one I did see. The DOJ funded study to highlight who spews violent language online, and it's not those conspiracy theorists. Department of Justice funded a study currently being conducted by a professor at Youngstown State University found little or no correlation between fans of fun conspiracy theories and violent language, despite some people's ridiculous opinions. When I first learned of the research being conducted by YSU professor Richard Lee Rogers, I went into panic mode. I was wrongly led to believe that the DOJ was funding research into people who like conspiracy theories like UFOs and Bigfoots in an attempt to brand them as what, Johnny? Boys and girls? Violent extremists. And a possible domestic terrorist. But after speaking at length with Rogers, it turns out his data could prove that fans of so-called fringe ideas are far less threatening than many journalists and oligarchs of academia seem to believe. Rogers has a general interest in the fun side of conspiracy theories. Even if he's a mild skeptic like me, he was looking for a new project focused on these interest when he came across a funding opportunity based on the research and evaluation of domestic radicalization and violent extremisms by the DOJ. So he tapped into some research funds and then found things that they will probably memory hole anyway. But he said there's no evidence between fringe communities and violence. There's no strong correlation. And so again, that will be ignored and they will still make those claims. In PJ Media, stop the block. We talked about this before. I want to actually do an entire show on Joy Reid's exchange with Tiffany Justice over inappropriate books in schools. We we watched one clip. Was it yesterday? What's the day? Tuesday? Maybe it was yesterday. We watched the one clip, but I want to do the whole thing as a live reaction because I've seen people doing videos on it, and she got obliterated. Just to be honest. But anyway, Megyn Kelly has weighed in on quote idiot end quote Joy Reid over her interview defending pornography in schools. Let's see how long is. Oh, that's the clip. This is the one clip that we saw the other day. Where's Megyn Kelly? Here's Megyn Kelly, who said this idiot actually wanted to know what expertise Tiffany Justice has to object to minors in school reading about strap-on dildos and sexual pedophilia. Because that's what she was defending. It was so weird. And we'll do this. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. Maybe we'll just make the whole show about that particular exchange because it's brilliant. Hello, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Day of the caller. Some of Wall Street execs are beginning to not necessarily warm up to Trump, but realizing that he's the guy, he's the man, and that they might have to bite their lips and whatever and show some support. Numerous Wall Street executives are stopping their resistance to former President Donald Trump and his 2024 re-election campaign. With Trump's ascent toward becoming the potential Republican nominee, Wall Street executives have strategically opted not to express verbal resistance to him. Over 12 individuals with the familiar with the situation told CNBC. Some executives are even open-minded to backing Trump over President Joe Biden. Oh my God, that's going to be the end of the world for them. But you know what? The people are going to want boycotts. They're going to want all kinds of things. But of course, Nikki Haley met with BlackRock CEO Larry Fink and some other Wall Street elites. So who knows? But you know what? If he's going to be the nominee and maybe likely president, you might want to stop being so shitty to him. There you go. That's all I got to say about that. Moving on, Daily Caller, major union continues to withhold endorsement of Biden. The United Auto Workers are not endorsing Biden. Now, they're not endorsing Trump, but they're not endorsing. They're withholding the endorsement of Biden so far. United Auto Workers President Sean Fain told reporters Monday that the union still had not made a decision on who it will endorse in the 2024 presidential election. Oh, I'm on pins and needles. They're not going to endorse Trump. They might not just endorse anybody. Who knows? Despite President Joe Biden's efforts to woo the key Democratic voting bloc, according to Reuters. Now, the interesting part of this, though, there's a lot of rank and file union workers, and I see this at UPS, and I shouldn't say this out loud, but there's a lot of rank and file union workers that don't want Joe Biden. They don't want Joe Biden.
Come on, man.
And so, despite the union leadership, which is Democrat just controlled, the rank and file don't want Joe Biden. Especially the fact that Joe Biden still wants to push electric car bullshit on him. And they don't want to make electric cars. They just don't. So that's going to be interesting to see how long it takes for them, the union leadership, to say, okay, we're going to break down. We'll do our job and endorse a Democrat. We'll see if that happens. Moving on. Oh, you know about the cicada thing that's going to happen? Now, I bet you people are going to try to say that this is going to be a reason to postpone an election, but this is the year. So if you're not familiar with cicadas, they're a burrowing insect that there are two strains of this particular insect. One of them only appears outside every 13 years. Every 13 years, that particular strain of cicadas all come out and they're all over the place, and then they're gone after like a couple days, right? And then there's another strain that only comes out every 17 years, okay? So there's a 13, and it's what's wild, and I don't even know why you think this, but there's not any really predators that can destroy these populations because their cycle is in prime numbers, right? And for whatever reason, animals can't. This is a scientific thing that I understand, but animals can't that possible predators can't time when they're gonna come out, because it's just really weird years, right? Nope, 13 and 17. There's a different bug that comes out every 7 years, but cicadas, I always say cicadas just out of habit. Cicadas. Hello, by the way, Wade Nation. How you doing, bud? Cicadas. But every 200 and X number of years, they come out at the same time. No, it's 13 and 17 years. So the latest thing we're supposed to worry about is cicada apocalypse, as the 13-year and 17-year broods emerge at once for the first time since 1803. There might be a 7-year one too, but these are the 13-year and 17-year ones. In certain parts of the Midwest, they're going to have a very crunchy time once the weather warms up enough for the cicadas, sometime in May or June. Like, for example, Quad Cities in Iowa. There's a huge strain of cicada populations that pop up there every 17 years. I remember when we went on Ragbri, which is this bicycle ride across to Iowa. When we got to the destination on the Mississippi River, there were just millions of these bugs dead on the ground because it was cicadas. It was a cicada year. So anyway, 2024 will be a particularly special year as Brood 8, the Northern Illinois brood, and Brood 19, the Great Southern brood, will emerge at the same time. So apparently there's very different broods of cicadas, but the 13 and 17-year ones are going to all come out at the same time this year. So there's going to be a big mess, and they'll find a way to make it a crisis, or maybe they'll think it's a plague or something. Maryland has them between 7 and 13. Okay, yeah, they're different. There are different broods, but they all it's interesting because apparently they all come out or have their cycles are a prime number. So 7, prime number, 13, prime number, 17, prime number. Anyway, so that's interesting. And then the last couple things, apparently the largest university system in the U.S. has decided to go on strike. The first day of classes for this semester, the University of California system is apparently doing a 5-day strike in the largest kind in U.S. history, with the California Faculty Association representing nearly 29,000 employees, including professors and librarians. According to Politico, the union is demanding a 12% pay raise that stays ahead of inflation, more manageable workloads, paid parental leave, safe gender-inclusive restrooms, and safety provisions for faculty's interactions with campus police. Oh, good God. Stay off the job. Just close all the California schools, because you're a big part of the problem with all the social bullshit that you try to indoctrinate your students with. Anyway, that's interesting. And then the final two, apparently Epstein's brother says Epstein didn't kill himself, blasting a bullshit Department of Justice report. Anybody shocked? Is there anyone who believes that Epstein killed himself? I'm just curious. Well, his brother doesn't believe it. And then the last article here, Bob Menendez, the senator from New Jersey, spent thousands to retain Dem super lawyer Mark Elias and Hunter Biden's firm, so he's going to be represented by the same people. FTG to Bob Menendez. All right, guys, that's it. If you haven't done so already, before you do anything else, hit a like button wherever you're watching this show, or go hit the like button on the other side too. If you're on YouTube, go on Rumble and hit it. If you're on Rumble, go on YouTube and hit it. And you are the sponsor of the show. Share the stream 24 hours a day. We have PDawgKnight.live where you can sponsor the show with $1 or $2. Thank you for our superstar sponsor of the day, Johnny Hellcat. Way to go. And I'll be back tomorrow. Remember, I'll put all these links in the chat during the outro, and also update them in the description for the video on both YouTube and Rumble. Y'all, that's it. I gotta go. My name is P. Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye. Have a great day. Hey, this is P. Dawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P. Dawg Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.